Manchester United will finish top 4 this season. And hear me out. We had the worst season last year. The worst season, what was it, in 50 years in United history? The worst season of my lifetime, and a lot of your lifetimes for sure as well. We conceded a lot of goals and we scored barely any. What was it? We scored only 44 goals in the league. Horrible, absolutely horrible from our attackers. It was miserable watching those games last season, especially once Ahmad got injured. It was pretty much just watching our team defend aimlessly like headless chickens and watch the other team score, and pretty much that was it. Horrible weekend after horrible weekend after horrible weekend. Now, this time around, things are going to be a lot better. No matter what anybody tells you, no matter what the other opposition fans say, we are going to have a better season. It is impossible for us to have the season we had last year. And here's a couple of reasons why. First off, we have completely replaced our front three. We have gone from a front three that could barely score, barely pass, barely do anything, to Mbeumo, Cunha, and Benjamin Šeško. Two of whom are Premier League proven and had really good seasons last year. And if anything, you'd think that they'd have even a better season this year. One, because they're playing in a better team surrounded by better players. And secondly, they're on the up where they want to prove themselves. It's not like they're done. They've taken the next step in their career and they want to prove that they're not one-hit wonders and they can actually do it at the biggest scale. That's one thing. The other thing is, these three players between themselves scored 48 goals last season alone. That's a lot more than anything our front three did last year. Now you take their goals, and obviously they're not going to score the exact same amount. Who knows? It is possible, but not likely probably. But if you take their goals and you add Bruno Fernandes and Ahmad, who pretty much scored most of our goals last season, that's pretty good. That could add another 20 goals at least, I would say. Because we were horrible last year, absolutely horrible, and we scored 44 goals. So with their 20 goals, we'll be at what, like 64? And we conceded 54 last year, and there were some games where people just gave up, and that's pretty much one of the reasons why we have so many goals scored against us. But our defending was good overall. Onana is a concern, and he's going to be a concern now. However, we're probably not going to concede the same amount of goals. So bring that down to, say, 48, maybe. Now, if you look at the top 4 for the last couple seasons, the teams that finished 3rd, 4th, 5th typically score around 58 to 68 goals, and they concede something around in the high 40s to maybe even in the 50s. And like 2 seasons ago, the top, the 3rd, 4th, 5th team had conceded around 50 plus goals. So it is possible that we, just by scoring more goals and conceding a little less, that we could make top 4. And now people say, oh, it's not as simple as that, but it is. Data doesn't lie. If you go and look at the tables for the last couple seasons, all the teams that finish top 4 score a certain amount of goals and they concede a certain amount of goals. So as long as we can do that, we have a really good chance of finishing top 4. Now here's my second reason why. Chelsea, Liverpool, City, and Arsenal. Everyone has these 4 teams to be the top 4. Now I'd agree with Arsenal, Liverpool, and City that they'll be top 3 cemented. But not so much Chelsea. People are forgetting a lot about Chelsea. People apparently have amnesia at this point. They only think about Chelsea as a World Cup champions, a team that beat PSG. But one thing about the Premier League is it is not a knockout competition. It is not a sprint, it is a marathon. And if you remember last April and May, Chelsea were winning games, but they crawled into top 4. They got lucky. They played Liverpool after Liverpool won the cup, and they played a random team. They played United when United were pretty much resting their team. And I think they played Spurs as well, where they were both resting their team for the Europa League final. So Chelsea did get very lucky. And Chelsea, they've gone ahead and added more signings. They've gotten better improvement. They got João Pedro up front as opposed to Nicholas Jackson being there. But one thing what Chelsea still haven't done is Chelsea haven't signed experience. Because what's going to happen with this team again, and it will happen, they will have a good spell and they'll have a bad spell. And Maresca isn't a good enough manager to lift up a squad when they're down. And that's what happened last season. They went for, 2 or 3 months without having won a game or something like that. And something like that could happen again. And if it does happen, they're not going to be coming out of that as quickly as a lot of people think. And that is not good enough to finish top 4. Then take Newcastle. Newcastle are most likely 99% going to lose their best player in Isak. And things are already bad with what's going on over there and them not being able to get signings. But the fact that they're going to lose their best player is going to have a big impact on their season. Take Salah last year. Salah had an amazing season. Take him out of Liverpool last season. Liverpool aren't going to be champions of the Premier League. And that's exactly what's going to happen with Newcastle. That and the fact that they have Champions League football now. And the last time they had that, they did pretty badly. And the same thing's going to happen to Villa as well. So United have a good chance because we don't have European football to play. We have one game a week and we have some good signings. Now we do still have things that we have to improve on. We do have to get a midfielder. If we do get a midfielder, I would say, and it's highly likely we are getting one because there are heavy links that we are going to be getting a midfielder. If you can get a goalkeeper as well, that would be amazing. But even with just a midfielder in, it's going to improve us a lot. And top four is going to be a lot easier. But here's my biggest reason why I'm so sure we're going to get top four. And that's Ruben Amorim. People are underestimating Amorim. Now, obviously, United fans know a little bit about Amorim. And Sporting fans know a lot about Amorim. And one thing about Amorim is he is not just your typical manager. Yeah, he went and did horrible last season. But honestly, I think he kind of did it on purpose as well. This man, to me, is a genius. This man, for me, is one of the best managers there will ever be. And the funny part is, it's mostly hope, I would say, and listening to the things that Sporting fans say and what he's done over there for them. But what I've noticed in this last 2 or 3 months, especially during preseason, is what he's managed to do with his squad. A squad that was toxic, a squad that did not want to play, a squad that didn't really care. He's made them into one big family. And you see that a lot. Obviously, you see it on socials, but you also see it on the pitch. You see our preseason games, we play completely different from what we did last year. We look a lot different than we did last year. And what I mean by that is we're fitter and we're running a lot more. Something that we did not do in the last, I would say, 2 seasons or so. That alone is a big improvement on how we play. There's a small, very, very small part of me that believes that United could beat champions this year. And that's mostly because of the fact that Leicester did it 10 years ago. So it is an anniversary. They finished 15th, we finished 15th. And I really, really think Amorim is going to be a great, great manager. And I have a feeling he's going to be that for Manchester United because we've always had money to spend, but we've done it so poorly. Horrible signing after horrible signing after horrible signing. But ever since Ineos has come on board, there's actually a lot of things they've done I haven't agreed with. But one thing what they have done is they have made good signings. And you see that this time around as well. Even if Sheshko doesn't work out, we know that Cunha and Mbeumo are going to because they know how to play in the Premier League already. So the worst case scenario is they'll be above average, which honestly, compared to the rest of our team, I'll take it. So let's all hope. Let's forget about all the noise that's there outside. And let's back our team to finish top 4. And who knows, even maybe win the whole thing.